Hello everyone! It is officially my summer break and I have been living it up. Thursday was my last day. Friday we left for a 4-day backpacking trip in the Galiuro wilderness and it was amazing and it was such a good way to start my vacation time as it really refreshed me and grounded me. I was so exhausted at the end of the school year and I almost didn't go on the backpacking trip and I'm really glad that I did. So now, only 2 days later, we are up in Flagstaff, Arizona in the mountains camping. Brian and a coworker are getting their wilderness first aid recertification. I just wanted to interject real quick. It's not the wilderness first aid, it's actually a step above that. I think it's wilderness first responder. They got their certification many years ago, but they have to recert every 2 years. So that's what this trip is about. And I tagged along just so that we could camp in the mountains because it's already summer and in the hundreds in Tucson. So it feels really good to be up here. And they've already gone to their first day of classes and I'm out on the road just walking the dogs. We're going to try to get to this spring that's on the map and see if there's any water. And then probably set up the hammock and read and knit. Dot has a new backpack that we are kind of trying out for the first time today. Just a little bit of water and not much else. I just wanted her to get accustomed to wearing it and not be weighted down. But Brian and I are planning on doing another backpacking trip at the end of June. So next weekend we're going to Sedona and then the following weekend we're going on a backpacking trip with the dogs. So keeping our summer really busy. And then we're going up to Montana. Well, we couldn't find anything. It might be dried up or it could be a seasonal thing where it only surfaces in the monsoon season or in the spring, early spring. I suppose it's still spring, but it feels like summer. Yeah, anyways, it's still been a nice walk. I think we've gone maybe 1.5 miles. We haven't been out for that long, but I'm going to turn around because I want to check in on Bean and see how he's doing. So currently I am knitting, and I'm right in the middle of a row, but I'm knitting another Moon Sisters shawl by Caitlin Hunter. This one is for my mom. it's hard to show you right now because it's, again, in the middle of a row. But there it is. This is what I have so far. So I'm using the elk antler and something moose, like hairy moose, or I don't remember. It's both Farmer's Daughter fibers, same fibers that I used for my shawl, except this one is with the brown. The Lazy Moose, that's what it is. And this is their squish fingering. I actually brought my shawl this weekend and wore it last night when sleeping, and it was so nice and comfy and cozy and warm. I really like having that shawl a lot. It's been the best thing I've knit, the most usable thing that I have knit, and I hope my mom will enjoy using it too. Dot has kept herself very busy this morning, exploring all of the holes around the camp. And anyways, decided to go on another little walkabout, this time through the woods, and see where we end up. Okay, that light blue dot with the little square inside is where our camp is. I'm thinking of going towards this road and then looping down to the other road and back to camp. So we'll see how that goes. Looks like someone had built a structure out here at one point. That looks legit. That was an impressive size. And it looks like this is our road. I think this is a cool scene. We have lava flow and the volcano. Greetings from the hammock. Oh, I am so content right now. I wanted to talk about the book that I brought with me. This is The Assassin's Quest, which is the third in the Farseer trilogy. And I'm really glad to finally be getting through this one because I have read the first book 3 times and the second book twice because it would be such a long time in between readings of the books that every time I wanted to finish the series, I felt like I had to start all the way at the beginning again to refresh my memory. And this time I did not do that, even though it's been probably 2 years since I read the second book. I just figured hopefully there's enough information that will jog my memory and I'll be able to make sense of it. And so far I have been able to, and things are starting to come back to me a little bit. So that's been nice. I have read 14 books, I think, already this year, which is kind of fun. I have a goal of 24 books for 2024. Although maybe I should do 2 and 24 books for 2024 and make it 26 in total. We'll see. I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself, but 24 seemed like a very natural goal. Like I'd probably read that or close to that anyways. And I think I'm ahead of schedule, so I don't need to rush through anything, which is nice. Moon sisters. Alright, well, it's time for me to go to bed. I'm wearing my shawl as a hood. I wore this last night too because I completely forgot to bring a beanie. It was really effective, so I'm gonna do that again. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and maybe I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see. Bye. Good girl. I'm pretty sure that we're camping at the base of that little peak. Pretty cool. Hey, Dad. Girl. Here, good girl. Hello, so we are on the Kachina Trail in the San Francisco mountains or Kachina Mountains. I don't know what the elevation is. I'm guessing somewhere between 8,000 and 9,000. It's really been such a beautiful hike. We've probably gone about 3.5 miles to this point. I just have made a lovely cup of coffee, and the dogs are, well, Dot is doing her thing and sniffing around, and Fig is just lazing about in the grass very contentedly. So I got to borrow the car today, and I dropped Brian off and his coworker at their class, and then I'm going to pick them up at 5 o'clock. So I have some time limitations. I want to make sure that I'm not on this trail for too long because I'd like to get back to the car by a certain point. I think I'm actually going to turn around and head back to the car after I just take a moment to enjoy this spot. And then, so that will probably put me back around 2-ish, which will give me still 3 hours. There is a wool and fiber festival happening right now in Flagstaff. I'm kind of tempted to go check that out. It is a free festival. If I can find a parking spot that's in the shade where I can leave the dogs in the car, then maybe I'll go and do that. But if it feels too congested and challenging, I think I'll just have to pass it by this time around. But now I know that such a thing exists up here, and maybe I'll be able to make it to one again in the future, which would be really fun. I think what I could do, because I had kind of a late breakfast and then just the coffee now, I think I'll wait to have lunch till I get back to the car. So maybe I'll go find a really nice spot to eat lunch and just have a really late lunch. That could be fun. All right, back at camp. Decided to just come here instead of find a place to picnic. So this works. It wasn't that far of a drive anyways. We hiked about almost 6.5 miles today, which is pretty nice. I think dogs are definitely appreciative. So lunch, I have this crisp bread and some peanut butter and an apple. So I'm gonna put some of this bread or this peanut butter on this bread. Woo. And then have it with an apple. I like to cut my apples like my grandma always did when I was a kid. Because then you get a star in the middle, although this one that's the least star-shaped seed section I have seen. It's normally a really nice little star. Just take my word for it or try it yourself. All right, good morning. Today is the last day of camp. So Brian and his coworker have already left for their final class in their woofer training or woofer research. And I have a whole list of things to do. I'm going to stay at camp. Number 1, I have to go to the bathroom. Number 2, make potentially a second cup of coffee. Number 3, eat breakfast. Number 4, get dressed. And number 5, start packing up everything. That way, when Brian and his coworker get back, we can just load up the car and head back to Tucson, where it may be 105 degrees today. So I'm not looking forward to that part. But it's been a great trip. So let's get started. And before I go, I just wanted to share with you this awesome little like hiking dress that I'm wearing. So this is made out of a sun material, so it has UV protection. It has a hood. It also has little snaps so you can turn it into little shorts. And it has 2 pockets here on the chest, and then it also has thumb holes. So if you really want some protection, you can do that. You could also roll them up. And anyways, this has been a really awesome thing to have and hike in. I didn't wear it nearly as much as I thought I would this trip, just because it's actually been a little bit chillier, but we're heading into warm weather and I'm moving around a lot and it feels like the right thing to be wearing. But I really like it, and I think that this could be very easily like a favorite hiking outfit. Oh, by the way, it's made by a company called Jolly Gear, and I bought it from Garage Grown Gear. I'll post a link down below to that. This I have talked about before, but it's just my favorite. If anyone were to ask what my favorite camping, backpacking accessory is, it probably would have to be these. This is a pair of Snow Peak chopsticks. They are collapsible, they're super minimal. This is basically all I take now when I go camping and backpacking. And I have found that I could eat all the foods with a pair of chopsticks. And in fact, I'm going to eat this oatmeal with a pair of chopsticks. I have not ever done that, so we'll see how it goes. But at the very least, I could shovel or scoop it into my mouth. But these are just so, so cool. I really love these. Oh, this is going to be actually really easy because I could just shovel. Great. It's really fun to be able to know I could do everything with a pair of chopsticks that I need to. Decided that I want to go on a little hike before I finish packing up camp. I think the dogs, especially Dot, would appreciate that. So I'm changing into my hiking socks and my hiking boots. I have actually discovered, especially on longer trips, that wearing these ridiculous toe socks is actually really helpful in preventing hot spots and blisters. And so I found that I think I might prefer having them when I hike. They look so silly, but there they are. I still prefer my regular fluffy socks as my like camp sock and my sleeping sock. And then the boots I've been wearing lately that I've really liked are the Vivo Barefoot Trackers. And I feel like I finally have found a hiking boot that works for me. I really like that the sole is just super minimal and super flexible. That is my biggest complaint with all hiking boots that are on the market, is the sole is just really thick and sometimes very stiff, and I feel super disconnected to the earth that I'm walking on. I just prefer these a lot. The only thing I do really like how they lace up. They lace up really nicely and can cinch down quite a bit on the foot. The only thing that I didn't like at first that required some adjusting was how thick the padding is at the ankle, but it's actually compressing a little bit as I wear them, which I like, because I've never actually had, well, I shouldn't say never, it's been a long time, many years since I've had a hiking boot that had ankle support, and so it just felt kind of awkward. But I'm adjusting and really liking these hiking boots. They are a bit hot in the summertime because they are waterproof and insulated. And so that has been a little bit of a challenge navigating living in Tucson. But I can make do. And honestly, I hike in sandals most of the time anyways when we're in the hotter climates. So anyways, I'm drifting off. I'm gonna go for a little walk and maybe say goodbye now. So thank you all for watching this really long video and sticking around even though I haven't posted in a really long time. I really appreciate it. So I'll see you hopefully sooner than later. Bye.